Hey guys, welcome back. Today let's solve the problem removing stars from a string. So we are given a string as our input, and this string may contain stars as indicated in the problem. In our case, we have the word Leetcode as I've written it, and as you can see, it contains stars at these specific positions. So our task is to ensure that whenever we meet a star, we remove the character that precedes the star. So in this case, we will come, and if we find this first star, we need to remove the letter that precedes this specific star. So the letter T will be removed along with the star. We find the other star, the next star. This will ensure that the previous character that precedes this star at this moment is also removed. So we need to do this across this entire length of the string, and whatever will remain will be our result. So you might wonder, how can we achieve this in code? So the most intuitive approach is to use a stack, because as you know, in a stack we can be pushing elements into the stack, so we can push each individual character into the array, and whenever we encounter a star, like in this case, we remove the last element that we have pushed into this specific stack. If we take an example, let's assume that we've pushed the first 4 characters into the stack represented by S, and now we encounter the star at this specific position. So what that means is that we will not be adding the star to our stack, but instead we will be popping from the stack at the end. So we will be removing the last element that we already added, and so at this specific point we will remain with these 3 characters. Once we successfully remove all the stars and underlying characters, our result will be represented as follows. It will be an array, but because the question expects us to return the string, we can simply join the array of characters with an empty delimiter, an empty space delimiter, which will return it as a string. Now for this problem, the time complexity will be O of n, because at most we will need to traverse through all the given characters in that string. So n will represent the length of this string, so the time complexity might be O of n. And for the space complexity, it will be the same, because we will be building this result as an array, so we'll be using more space from the array, and at most it will be the entire length of this string. With that said, let's code up the solution. So as we discussed, we will be using a stack to solve this problem, and we will go through each and every character in our string. So we can just write a for loop for each character in the string, and the first thing that we need to check is whether this given character is a star. So we can check if C is equals to a star, and if this is the case, we will do something. Else we need to just take our stack and append the character that we've seen. In the case whereby we find that the character is a star, we need to pop the preceding character to this star. Now to do this is simple. We just need to take our stack and pop at the very beginning. In the case where we have not yet added any character, so assuming that the star comes as the first character in this entire string, this will throw an error. So what we need to do is to make sure that the stack is not empty, then we can pop. So in Python, this will be executed first, and if this is false, then the rest of the statement will not be executed. Otherwise, if it is true, then the rest of the statement will be executed. Now with that done, we can return our stack. However, remember that this stack contains an array of characters, and we want to join them with an empty space as the delimiter. So in Python, you can just write an empty set of quotation marks and just write the join statement to our stack. That said, let's run the code and see if it works. And as you can see, this works and it's pretty efficient. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.